Hello, how are we today? Trying to get Instagram. Here we go to recognize that I am here. And there we go. All right. Now we are live on Instagram, Facebook page, and YouTube. And those of you, hello, Monica. Those of you like Monica who are on YouTube may have noticed I gave the YouTube page just a little bit of TLC. I have more TLC to give it, but I give it a little bit of TLC so that it's now branded as both Jessie at Home and Crochet Foundry. Um, I know it still needs one of those intro videos and all of that. I've only had the Facebook page for the YouTube page for like a decade. So, I just haven't gotten around to that video yet. Though I did hear about that from the marketing company that I had a meeting with yesterday. They were like, you really need that intro video. I'm like, yeah, okay. So, yeah, I'll be getting to that. And hello, Sarah. And who else? Oh, good morning, Gabby. I hope that your hand or wrist is feeling a little better now. I believe that was you. I saw a picture of was it a pink cast on your crocheting hand? I mean, although I have to say, Gabby, that's the one and only time I have ever had a cast. It was my right hand. I was, yes, here we go. Gabby will sadly be on a crochet hiatus. And if Gabby wants to tell you what happened, she can. I know that it was on her Facebook page, but I don't know if that's public or not. So, but I'll tell you, the one and only time I ever had a cast, I broke this hand, and I was waking up in the middle of the night because I needed to use the restroom, and there was a little in my apartment. It was in the apartment we lived in before we moved here into the house. There was a step like this big coming out of the bedroom and going into the living room, which then you had to go through to go to the hall to go to the bathroom, right? So that made it sound so much bigger than it actually was. But anyway, I missed the step, and there was a bookshelf right there. And so I missed the step and I tripped and I did one of these things when I hit the bookshelf. It was like, Spock, but on steroids. And what happened was because it pulled these fingers back, it broke it broke this metacarpal at a big angle. So it did heal fine and everything, but because it was at such a steep angle, when it healed, it slid down a little bit. So now, like when I do this, all the fingers line up except for this one. It's a little shorter. And if you like make a fist, right, and you can see the little bumps of the knuckles, you can see that this one is like so much shorter than it should be because it healed short. Let's see, what did Gabby say? Yeah, okay. I knew she slipped coming out of the shower. I knew she slipped coming out of the shower, but I didn't want to say that if she didn't have that public. Thankfully, it's not crochet related. Yes, we'll worry about that. Yes, we do worry about that. Monica had elbow surgery and went through withdrawal, not being able to knit or crochet. What I discovered was that when I broke this one, and so of course I had the cast from like here up to like here and here. I don't know, Gabby, what part, if it was a hand or a wrist or a finger or what. Like mine was this metacarpal, so that's considered a hand break, but it like goes up to this finger. Gabby says, "Oh no, Monica, I hope you're all healed." Yes, I'm sure we all hope you are healed, Monica. It sounds like it was a past thing. Um, oh, you thankfully, Sarah slipped, but thankfully just landed on her side or hip. Yes, it is scary. It's very scary. It's a tear. It's a tendon tear at your wrist, Gabby. Okay. Um, I had found, and because mine was a break here, so I don't know what yours is like. And I don't know, Gabby. I feel like you know how to knit as well as crochet, but I could be totally wrong. Okay, man, Monica's is well past good. I could be totally wrong, but I feel like you know how to knit as well. I found that after, like, it was a couple of weeks, but after a couple of weeks, I was able to knit because um, somehow it was like it was different. The way that I knit versus how I crochet, I could do just like straight knit back and forth. And what I did was I knit a couple of like rugs with like the like two strands of yarn, and it was just knit, turn, knit, turn, knit, turn, and it was just two strands of yarn, really big, chunky, fluffy rugs, and I was able to just hold on to the knitting needle with my right hand and basically do everything else with my left. So we'll see. Uh, Gabby says you can wait. Gabby, you can purl. Oh, you can purl, but do you mean you can purl and not knit? Because most people, if they can only do one, they can knit and not purl, which is probably why you got a little laughy face there. Tried to knit and don't know if it's for you. There's much less movement in knitting with the wrist. Yeah. So okay, Gabby, that is hysterical. Gabby can purl but cannot knit. I love that. That's awesome. I love you so much. That's awesome. All right. So where was I going before all of this? Oh, right. The little description. It says, what can you make with a crochet chain? So I pulled out a bunch of, what do I have here? I have a bunch of Red Heart with Love and a little bit of, I'm pretty sure this is We Crochet, crochet.com, Wonder Fluff, and a bunch of Red Heart with Love and stuff. And I just figured we could do some various things that I like to play with crochet. I've been thinking a lot about putting what content I want to put up on the blog other than interviews, and I want to make sure to have, I want to put up tutorials for all of the basic stitches, but I thought it would also be fun to have, like as you're going through each stitch, if somebody's just learning how to crochet, hey, look at that, Lisa. Woohoo! I've known Lisa for like ever and a day on Facebook from being crochet bloggers together. Um, I believe Lisa, are you the one who was like, hey, this famous person wore this really cute skater skirt, and now they're really in, and somebody needs to design a crochet skater skirt. So I did. I think Lisa, that was you who was like, I'm not going to do this, but somebody else should, and I did. I think, what did I call it? I don't remember. I may have called it the skate skirt, or I may have called it the Emma. It may have been named Emma. I'll have to look it up. Anyway, crochet chains. Yes, it was Lisa. Oh, Lisa, you're in Scotland? How did I not know that? Wow. Okay, so here's a question, because I know, like in America, people, if you ask somebody from another country if they're coming to this country for something, like, America's freaking huge. But of course, in Europe, all of your countries are almost like the same size as the states in America. So, are you going to go to the London, what is it, the knitting and stitching show in October? Because I'm going with camera, and it would be really cool if you were there. There's a young, well, I really hope some of you are coming on the trip to England with Tamara and the Crochet Tours company. The tickets stopped selling like a couple days ago. So if you're not, you missed it. But for anybody who is going to the knitting and stitching show in London in October, there will be a group from Crochet Tours going, which definitely will include Tamara and myself. I do not know who the other people who are going on, but I know us. You're getting two new knees. My dad has two titanium knees and one titanium hip. He's really funny at airports. Um, Sarah, you love Scotland? Okay, spent a week in something I can't say. Ayrshire? Oh, well, that's just fun. I don't know if I said it correctly or not, but it's fun. Back when you turn 20. It would be like, you might not be able to go with your two new knees, but I mean, like, my dad, when he had the second knee surgery, he healed up really quickly, and that was just like maybe a year ago. They've come so far with that they can heal pretty quickly now. It's really impressive. But of course, don't do anything that's going to hurt yourself. If you can go, that would be so cool. But if not, that's fine. Um, Ayrshire. Ayrshire is nowhere as much fun as Ayrshire. Yes, Lisa, but only if you can. All right. So, what I wanted to do today, let me check real quick and see if there were any comments on Instagram, is just talk about some of the fun things that you can do with a crochet chain. Because I know, like, if I'm teaching somebody else how to crochet, um, then, woohoo, then I like to be able to, like, teach them something that they can then do something right away, right? We want them to be able to make something. Um, and so I like to come up with fun little things you can make after each step along the way. And of course, the first thing we learn is a crochet chain, right? So we got this, and you're like, okay, well, I can make a chain, but what can I do with the chain? So, like, the first really simple one, okay, that's like so easy and anybody can do. So they're learning to make their chain, they're learning to make their chain. Of course, at first it's going to be really, really uneven. So the first one they're going to make is going to be like garland for the tree or something. But once they like get the chain down and they can actually make a chain that isn't all wobbly, or even if it is all wobbly and they're proud of it, then dude, go for it. If it's all wobbly and you're proud of it, woohoo, more power to you. You want to make a chain that will go like once or twice around your wrist. Okay. So they're just gonna go make the chain until it'll go like once or twice around the wrist. And what I want from you guys here, I'm gonna give you a couple chain ideas. Um, is I want you guys to tell me what if you have little things that you can make with just a crochet chain. Okay, so that's like one and a half. Going to go a little bit longer because I wanted to go a couple times, right? Um, the same idea works for around the neck as well for a necklace. If it's too long, though, I find that if you don't put beads or something on it, it gets like kinky and not in a fun way. So if you don't want it to, whereas with a bracelets are tight enough, but if it's not a tight necklace, if it's just hanging, it doesn't like hang like a necklace does. If there's not beads or something on it to give it weight, because there's not a lot of weight on yarn, right? All right, so I think this is plenty big. So then what you do when you have it like plenty big is you kind of crochet maybe another inch or so, right? A few more, and then you just go and you go back about an inch or however big it's going to depend on the button, and I'll show you the button in a minute. And you just stick your needle, it doesn't matter where, just stick that crochet hook through one of those chains, like a few chains back, so that you have a little, basically you're making a button loop, okay? And then just yarn over and pull through, so you're making a chain through the chain. What you're technically making is a slip stitch, but that's okay. We're calling it a chain that you made through the chain because we're pretending like we're not learning anything else, because then they get all freaked because they're like, wait, I had to do another stitch? No, you're just going to chain, but you're going to go through the chain. You didn't make another stitch. Not at all. Nope, not at all. Then when they're done, you'll be like, guess what? You made another stitch. They learned how to make a slip stitch because I'm evil like that. All right, so then you chain back. Okay, so you want to make the two chains about the same length. It's okay if one's a tiny bit longer than the other. It'll just give the bracelet a little like funness going on with it, right? Um, of course, anywhere in here they could have changed color, but we're trying to be nice and make this like so simple that somebody can make right away when they first learn how to chain. It's like, look, I can make this for myself, or look, I can make this for my friend, or my girlfriend, or my mom, or I can make it in like, team colors, and I can make it for my football boyfriend, whatever. I don't care. You can make it for your boyfriend even if he doesn't play football and doesn't need team colors. That was very stereotypical, wasn't it? But, all right, wait. We have one. We have a few strands together and a big hook to make a chain scarf. Yes, that was something I was going to show. That's why I have so many of these over here too, and various big hooks. I even have like big hooks, right? These are the furl suckers, man. These dudes are huge. This one is a 20 millimeter, and that's the smallest of the three. Look at these. Now these are hooks. This is like so Crocodile Dundee. You call that a hook? Anyway, but they're great. I got them in like super huge yarn too. because they're great for doing tutorials, because everybody can see what you're doing, right? Okay, let's see. What have I done? Oh, look at that. It's just a tiny bit longer than the first one, which is fine. So now that you've done that, okay, let's see. Yes, and Sarah said, love the hooks and haven't made anything with them yet. Yeah, they're so fun. All right, now you just cut it, woo, okay? And whatever the last chain was, you pull it through and give it a tug, right? And now you have all of this. What I do is I take the two little ends, okay? You see my two little ends, my hook is going to fall, and no, it's not. Just because it's carved. I really need to get one of those furls trays that hold your hooks so they don't roll. Okay, so we have the two knots here, right? And I'm just going to do a quick overhand knot and pull it nice and tight up against the ends of my chains. So I just kind of squeeze it with my fingers and then pull each of the little ends. Okay, now we have these two ends, and I have some various buttons. I have these really pretty little heart-shaped buttons. So I'm going to take one of my little heart-shaped buttons, okay? And then you can get dental floss. You can get so if you have a needle that'll fit through there, great, and get your yarn on it. But I have a little beading needle or needle threader. So if you have a needle threader, you can do it with a needle threader. If you have dental floss or just like crochet thread, you can just fold it in half and do the same thing I'm about to do, but with the dental floss works really well. Okay. You could do it with the crochet thread as well. But all I'm going to do is I'm going to go from the front to the back through the buttonhole and grab one of these ends, okay, and then whoosh, pull that through. That's all it took. Front to the back through the other buttonhole, and I'm holding on to this end so that I don't pull it out of the button, okay. I put the yarn through the needle threader, I hold onto the button, I pull it through. So now I have both of those pieces through. And then I'm going to make a granny knot. So I'm going to take my right and put it over my left, tie, and then my left and over my right, tie, pull it really tight. If you want to be paranoid, you can do it one more time. It really doesn't matter. Or you can put just like a little tiny piece of clear nail polish or Elmer's glue. Did you know the same company that makes Elmer's glue also makes Sharpies and Paper Mate? All right, and then I cut it. I like to give it like a little bit of ends because I like the little ends. Aren't they fun? See the cute little ends? Okay, so now you can just take your little crochet chain and wrap it around your wrist and toss your little heart-shaped button or whatever through the little loop, and ta-da! So there you go. You teach somebody how to make a crochet chain, and then you can teach them really quickly how to make a bracelet. And it's so encouraging to people when they're just learning a new craft to be able to right away make a finished project. So we have a few new comments here. Let's see. Oh, I think I missed one. Okay. Pearl's new Onyx Metal Streamline today. Oh, the nice, Sarah. Very cool. You'll have to show it off at the Sit and Stitch later tonight when, like, you can show stuff, too. Since right now I'm the only one who gets a screen. I'm doing lots of evil laughs today. I feel like Tamara. She does that a lot. Yeah. So tonight when, like, we can see you, too, you definitely need to show us off your new Pearl stuff. Yes, you love the trays, too, but you basically love anything. So, of course, who doesn't? Yes, exactly. See, this is a super fun project for someone who's just learning how to crochet. Small projects make the brain happy. That's right, Gabby. And of course, somebody who's just learning a new craft to be able to immediately make something other than like a giant piece of string or garland that wraps around the Christmas tree, especially if they're like, Jewish or anything other than somebody who celebrates Christmas. Let's see. Sarah, you've never tried a furls? Oh my goodness, Lisa. If you go to the knitting and stitching show in London, I will give you one of the crochet Foundry furls hooks because I still have a few left. Okay? Got it? You have to come to the show, but only if your knees are better. And we have Thomas Gregory Hamilton, also known as Gregory Stitch. Hello, my love. And he loves our craft. Yay! Lisa, yeah, it's so easy. And so it's quick dopamine boost, right? Dopamine, that's the right one. Or serotonin or something. I don't know. It's a quick happy boost, which is always nice. So there we go. That is one really fun little crochet craft. Another thing you can do, I don't think I pulled out any beads out. I didn't because I didn't think about it till we had already started and I was saying the stuff about the weight, is you can teach them to do the chains with the beads, and they can do the same thing to make a necklace. And if you put beads on somewhere like towards the middle-ish, like, so they just string a couple beads on, and then when they get to the middle-ish, they just actually like push it over and then make the next stitch. That helps it hang longer, and keeps it from just kind of like being the way a crochet chain will be if there's not any weight to it, because crochet chains don't weigh anything. Um, your husband said yes if your knees let you. Yay! So that would be yes. As long I do not want you to hurt yourself, Sarah, since you're going to have knee replacement right before the knitting and stitching show in London. But since it is local-ish to you, if you can go, it would be so cool to finally meet you in person because we've known each other online for like probably a decade. In Scotland, it is probably harder to get the furls. Like Sarah could literally drive to the warehouse in about a half hour, so that's got to be dangerous. Yes, they're having their big birthday. Is it still happening? I know that they were having the big birthday sale, and it is huge. Like, it is amazing and awesome. So yeah, if it's still happening, definitely this is the time to buy some furl hooks because it's epic. I'm an affiliate. I should be sharing some of those links. You've heard of so many people learn to crochet by chaining something the length of their room. Exactly. That's another thing. I'm gonna show you something next that's great if you just have a super long piece of chain and you're like, what the heck should I do with this? Sarah says she's not a stalker, she promises. And they are still having the birthday sale. It goes until the 30th. You guys like know everything. I love this. You're such an informed bunch. Okay, so let's say you have, let me take this off real quick, because let's just say you have a super long piece of chain, right? A super long crochet chain. So I'm just going to show you actually let's pretend this is a chain, okay? Because you all don't really need to watch me chain like, 3 yards of crochet. What you can do once you have your long piece of chain and you're like, okay, well, now that I chained the length of my room, what do I do with it? Now you can you can teach somebody how to cut it, and just like the one side it'll pull tightly, the other side will start to unravel. So once they do that, they want to pop the cut end through the loop and pull it tight so that it doesn't unravel. Then they can fold it in half and they can just tie, like you can do like an overhand knot and tie to make I'm not going to pull that tight because I don't want it in there, and tie to make the loop here. Or they can sew it with a sewing needle if they have a sewing needle. If their ends back here aren't long enough to tie the stuff on with your tails, they can always just again use a sewing needle to sew on the button if that's what they want. Like this, I taught you how to make it when this was what you were intending on making, but you can still do it as an afterthought with miles of chain. The other thing you can do is you can take your chain, your long chain, and just loop it. And you can either make it so that all the loops are the same exact length, or you can let them vary a little bit, right? If you want, and just have like massive numbers of loops, and then take the end of the chain. I have fuzz. So much yarn. I have fuzz in my mouth. Then you can take the end of your chain, okay, we're going to take this end right here, and just give it a little stitch with a sewing needle if you want to hold it tight. Or I just go back in the opposite direction. So I fold it here and it came this way, and now I'm going to wrap it back the opposite direction and just wrap it really tight. You can do this with a single piece of yarn or with the whole chain. I like to do it with a chain but you just wrap it to hold everything together. And then again, you can sew it down with some sewing thread, or you can use a smaller crochet hook to pull this end through. And then you have one of these kind of necklaces, okay, that's just like all drapey and stuff. Woohoo! With lots and lots of layers. So that's an afterthought thing if you can do if you have a mile of crochet chain from if somebody has that because they just learned how to crochet. Karen says, afternoon all from warm, cloudy Scotland. Karen is also in Scotland. Karen, we were saying earlier that for those of you who are local-ish to London, if you're going to the Knitting and Stitching Show, there's a tour through Crochet Tours that's going to be going to that in October, one of the stops during the, I think it's maybe, I think we're going to stop there for 2 days, maybe. Do not quote me on that. I just know that the tour through through craft tours is no longer on sale, but anybody going on it, it's going to stop for 1 or 2 days at the Knitting and Stitching Show in London on October. And Tamara Kelly and I will both be on that tour. So what I'll have to do is I'll make sure when it gets closer, and I have a better idea of the schedule and everything, I'll make sure to let you guys know when we're going to be there. And maybe some of you who are, if there's anyone who's been there before and knows, like at Rhinebeck, there's the hill where people meet, and there's various places where people meet. So maybe somebody who knows it a little better could be like, hey, this is where we should meet on this day and this time. And that way we can meet up, any of us who are going to be there. It's always fun to find a little meetup, especially when it's people who you don't normally get to see because you normally live, across the pond. So, all right. Lisa and Karen are saying hi. You're both from Scotland. I don't know if that necessarily means you know each other or not. Who knows? There's plenty of people in Jersey. I don't know. Even if they do crochet. So, all right. So there were two fun little crochet projects. Oh, and then yeah, the other one that is still another super fun thing to do with like a big hook. Once somebody gets the hang of chaining, and if they want, they can to make something with a really big fun hook, or even if you have like a really thick yarn. But I like to just like, oh look, here is all my scrap yarn. I'm going to grab it all, and I'm going to make something. So I think this is actually more of a this size hook than one of the giant wooden ones. So then you can just make super long chains, okay? All right, and you want me to teach you, do you guys want to learn a braid in the middle of crochet trick? Because this is ridiculous. Like, it's mind-blowing and so fun, and I figured it out when I was like a teen. I figured out, I realized there was a way that you could braid something that had been split in three in the middle, even though the two ends were still, like the top and the bottom were still connected. And then I went, oh, well, crochet, if you make a super stretched out chain, it's just 3 strands, right? Okay, so let's do that. We're going to make a chain for a little bit. Okay, so we're chaining away. And then we're going to go, oh, it's a super chain. Okay, super long chain. Ah! And then we're just going to like try to, this is where it gets a little tricky. I just kind of chained into that chain, but I'm holding it in my fist here. And now I'm just going to start chaining again. Okay, so it's a little messy at the start, but that's okay. We'll do something later that'll fix it. I hope. We're just having fun today, all right? I like just, sometimes we have like all this business to do, and I'm showing you everything exciting about the upcoming issue and all of that. And other times it's just fun to learn something, right? Okay, so I have this super long chain in the middle of my chain, right? And I'm just going to now cut this and pull it through. Okay, so now this super long chain in the middle of my chain. I'm going to take each of the 3 pieces. All right, each of the 3 pieces. And now you do have to know how to braid. Okay. Um, I know I have little clippies somewhere. I need to clippy this to myself. Clippies! Ah, screw it. Clippy! That works. All right. Pardon the hair. Okay. So now that I have this braid, let me tilt my camera down a little bit so you can see a little better what I'm doing. Okay. So I have all of this, right? And it's all those extra chainy bits from my super long chain. And I want to braid it. So I'm just going to kind of start braiding. First, I'm going to say, hey, this is a little awkward. I think it went, well, you know what? The beginning might be a little awkward. I'm just going to start braiding it. I'm going to braid just a little bit, and then I'm going to pull one of my ends, kind of see where it pulls this bottom piece through. Okay. Now, oh, well, you know what? It didn't want to stay. Hold on. I can make it work. I totally can. You ready? We're going to wrap it around the clip a couple times and clip it on. There we go. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do like 3 passes of a braid. 1, 2, 3. And then I'm just going to take one of these ends. Oh, okay. Take one of these pieces and give it a tug and pull that, wherever it pulls the end of the chain, I'm going to pull it through and see if it kind of, there we go. Sometimes you need to do it more than once. It kind of untwists itself, right? All right, and if you're brave, you can do it more than 3 times. I'm going to try 6 now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we're just going to kind of pull this dude through. You know what? I think 6 was silly. We're going to go back a few. I got a little too brave. All right. We're just going to kind of pull that guy through. All right. And now we're going to keep doing this. And you guys should be talking while I'm doing this. Keep us entertained. I will hit some buttons so you can see each other. All right. We have, there we go, mouse. Karen said, Lisa says, Lisa is just outside of Iverness. Where are you? Karen is in Hamilton, just south of Glasgow. Hey, Glasgow is one that I know. Just off the M74. Alrighty then. I don't really know the M74 unless you're talking about, Good Omens. And I don't think that was 74. I think that was something else, right? I don't know. David Tennant, man. If David Tennant's in it, I'm watching it. All right. And both from Lock. Okay, yeah, no. I'm not even. Sorry, dudes. You can read it. All right. Oh, the red heart. This is cool. The colors are gorgeous. Yes, this is Red Heart with Love. It's several years old. Uh, so whether or not these colors still exist, I'm not sure. It's you know what? I'm pretty sure when I designed the retro ornament throw, these were for Red Heart, and that was back before Yarn Inspirations even owned Red Heart. I'm pretty sure this is leftover yarn from that. So that's a little bit old. Loving the color combo. Yeah, the blanket sold really well. They ended up doing it in like 3 or 4 different color combos. But yeah, this was the Christmas one for the retro ornaments. It was super fun. Okay, I feel like I've maybe done something weird here and switched 2 of these things. Shh, don't tell anybody. I made a boo-boo. All right. No, I didn't. I'm good. I made no boo-boos. No. It was a design choice. All right. So you just keep braiding like every 3 or so. You pull this. You're trying to pull your bottom piece wherever it pulls through. You just kind of have to figure it out. And of course, if you're attached to like something a little easier to be attached to, like something in front of you instead of your own shirt. It's a little easier, but I'm trying to show you guys how to do this. So I maybe could have not made it so long so it would have gone faster. That might have been a good plan too, right? Um, but you can see I just keep on pulling this bottom piece through wherever it says I want to be pulled through. Um, and it will eventually get down to the point where we will be done and it will be um, a really cool braid in the middle of our crochet. It's getting really long. My arms need to be longer. I wonder if I can pinch it up late on the little strappy thing that I have here on my little. Woohoo! There we go. All right, what else do we have? Oh, that's the last of the combo. Okay, does anybody else? While I'm finishing this one up, does anybody else have any other ideas of things that you can do with a crochet chain? So when you're teaching somebody else how to crochet, or if you, I'm assuming most people here already know how to crochet. Um, so that's why I was saying this is great for if you're teaching somebody. But if you don't already know how to crochet and you're just learning, then these are some fun projects to do. This one requires somebody who's maybe a little bit more on the crafty side. Like the other ones we did really are just a crochet chain. This one we're adding in this braiding funness going on here. And for some reason, these pinks are like being a little bit of a pain for me. I don't know why. They keep trying to go like switch around which little section of yarn they're in. They're being mean. All right, let's see. Lisa is invited half the family to support my live. Oh, thank you, Lisa. That's very sweet. Then again, I'm not surprised, Lisa. You've always been very sweet. All right. Chain wire. Oh, yeah. So, are you saying, Gabby, when you say that, are you saying like crochet chain with wires that you then can put things around, or are you saying crochet chain and wrap it around wire and then make letters with it? That I'm not sure. But yes, if you can make a crochet chain with like a thin wire, you just need to make sure you're using one. Like you need to try it out. There's wires that are better for crocheting with than others because some of them will like snap and some won't. It all depends. A belt, yes. You could do all of these various things we've done that would work as the bracelets and stuff would also work as belts. I'm almost done with this one, and then I'll show you something that can make that first bracelet we learned be a really cool belt. Um, yes, there's beautiful crochet wire jewelry. Sorry, I said that without actually. Chain and then add wire and shape. Yes, very cool. Yes, there is beautiful. There is like Viking wire jewelry. I do a lot of medieval reenactment things, and the Viking wire jewelry is always really cool. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of loosen my braid a little bit. All right, so that I'm just kind of moving some of the tightness down, um, so that I could have probably done a couple more little braids, but this is a good thing to do if like you find that there's a part of your braid that's a little looser than the rest, you can kind of push down the looseness or whatever. So here we have like a little piece of braid in the middle of our chains. Now, I mean, whether or not you like that look, who knows? But it's a fun trick to know that you can do. And you could actually do that with like, if you have made, if you're doing whatever, single crochet, double crochet, whatever, back and forth for like a big bit. Okay, and I think I've actually seen some scarves done this way, whether or not they probably braided before they finished, but you know, you go back and forth for a while, and then you make three pieces, and then go back and forth again, so you have, you know, a rectangle for your scarf that's then divided in three in the middle, and then you can braid it. Um, of course, I think most people probably started with one piece, divided it in three, then braided it, and then kept crocheting afterwards. It's significantly easier than this. This was just a fun, goofy little thing to teach you how to do. Um, so if you wanted to take something like this and wear it as a belt, one of the cool things is when you put your button through, right? It of course can tighten. So if you did this, okay, then you could, if you're running through belt loops or whatever, you could just let it hang. But if you wanted it to actually stay where it was going to stay, what you might want to do is you go through once and then you can put it through a second time. Okay, we're pretending like this is a lot longer and this is my waist, not my wrist. Okay, so you can pull it like this and you have your little dangly bit. Or you can go through a second time, and now it's more likely to actually stay at that length if you want it to hold the length as a belt. Okay, so there we can take that same exact thing that we did to make this bracelet and just make it longer to make it into a belt. And you can even, rather than having one thing on the end on that goes through both ends, you could have put like a couple beads on each individual end, so you have two dangly bits. In which case, you could have put like both of them through once, and then the second one through the second, and then just one of them through the second time, and then give it a little tie, and that would also keep it from changing size on you if you want your belt to stay the same size instead of like growing every time you sit down or lift your arms up or whatever. Um, so there are some more chain ideas. I love that. Let's see, what else do we have here? How about a chain that makes a circle slightly bigger than your hand? Add a keychain, then like wrap the yarn around the end to conceal the end. Add a keychain. Yeah, so you're just so you're making a bracelet that holds your keychain, and then you can. That's good because I see the people all the time with the P is all the way up here with those little like squiggly keychains that sometimes people also use as ponytail holders. Not people like me, because anything like that would yank my hair out. Um, I'm guessing that works for a hair type other than mine. Um, but my hair type is uh, ah, white girl thin hair. That's what my hair type is. It doesn't like to do much of anything. Okay, good, Gabby. I got it. I figured it out. All right. Great for bag straps too. Yes, and that was the other thing. Like I was prepared to teach you guys some fun chords, but it is 12:43 already. So why don't the next time that we're going to have just like a fun educational one, a fun little educational live of like, here, what are some fun things we can learn how to do? We'll do some chords. But so you all know, the anything here that we do that's alive when we're doing something fun and educational, anything that's like a basic thing like this, I am going to be putting up basic stitch tutorials on the Crochet Foundry blog, which is crochetfoundryblog.com, or you can just go to crochetfoundry.com and click blog. Okay. Um, and I'm going to make sure that there are tutorials there for everything. When you buy your magazine, and at the end of the magazine, there's like the abbreviations for all of the commonly used stitches and techniques and everything. Anything that's there, I'm going to make sure there's a tutorial for how to do it on the blog. Okay, and then we'll link them on the magazine. Since the magazine is digital, you can click the links, right? Y'all know that, right? When you see there's like the underlined stuff that's usually like a different color, you can click it, and the various ads for things in there. If you're like, ooh, this looks interesting, you can click it. Remember, some of those ads, every month I choose a different something that works with the month. Obviously, this month with June, we had a whole Pride issue, with the various ads for the various LGBTQ plus charities and such in there. If you just clicked on anywhere on the picture, it'll take you to them. But then every month, there's always something. I figure out something. What was July was Oh, there were some good ones. I really liked it. I'm having a hard time remembering what July is. Grr. Well, I remember that February was Black History Month, and we did National Bailout, and then the Makers of Color Collective were the two free ads that I put in there. And if you click on them, it'll take you there. You can donate or learn more about whatever. So, yeah, remember that when you're looking at the magazine. Since it is a digital magazine, lots of it is clickable. Any text that's clickable has a little underline and is, I think, blue. But anything that's an ad is clickable. Um, and yeah, then what else? Oh, and when you do the puzzles, you know the little puzzle section now that we have. There's the little square at the end of the puzzle that's like little about the our puzzle maker and her books and everything. And if you click on that, it'll take you to where you can purchase some of her books because her books are awesome. If you like her puzzles, the entire books of puzzles are freaking awesome, and there's so many puzzles in them that they are well worth the price. I absolutely love her books. So remember, those things are clickable. And as I get the free tutorials up on the blog for all of the various stitches that are at the end of the post, at the end of the magazine, those will become clickable too. So you'll be able to go to the tutorials for all of them. So even if you don't know them, you can learn them. And I will be putting up some additional tutorials, and a lot of that will be free on the blog. I can totally teach you how to use a lucette fork, Monica. That will be super fun. Um, I could probably, I will teach the basics of lucette fork. I'll do that on here one day, and I'll put the basic lucette braid on the blog. I'll do more intricate braids that people who are, I'm going to get the membership open. I would like to have it open for July, but it may not be until August. But I am getting the membership open, and being a member will only cost $2 more per month than it costs to buy the magazine, and you get the magazine. So um, that will be super fun, and I'll put all of the braids in addition to the basic braids. I'll put those in the members only area. Of course, any videos in the members only area will not have ads. Videos in the free area will be through YouTube, and we'll have the YouTube ads so that I can get paid a little bit for my work. Thank you. Good afternoon. Uh, yay. Um, yes. So, oh, your dinner's ready. Oh, okay, cool. Well, we will see you around, Lisa. I'm so glad you finally joined us. That is so cool that you made it this time. It just makes me super happy. Um, so yes, all of those, I want to get those up ASAP. Okay, the reason that it's taken so long, except forks are super fun to use. The reason it's taken so long, it's been like 6 months since I bought the magazine, right? Is that it's been it's been exactly 6 months, guys. I bought the magazine on December 26th, and it's June 26th. It's been exactly 6 months since I bought the magazine. Woohoo! It's a birthday. It's a half birthday. Every day is an unbirthday except for once. Anyway, so yeah. The reason why it's taken so long to get for me to get to this point, because this is something that I really wanted to do, was include all these tutorials, the basic ones on the free area, and then more intricate ones maybe in the some of them in the free area and some of them in the paid area. But the reason why I've always wanted to do it, the reason why I haven't gotten to it yet, is because first I had to figure out how to get the magazine working and make sure, just make sure that everything was running, and my publishing schedule was going to be longer than it had been in the past. It takes, I wanted to make sure that everybody had enough time to do things, and I wanted to make the testing phase happen after the patterns had been tech edited, so that the designers will design the patterns, and then then the written pattern goes to the tech editors, and they make sure that everything works. They make sure there's no typos. They make sure the math works. They make sure that, like, if the designer wrote it in a size that would fit like a 42 bust, they want to make sure that when it got moved, when they wrote the other sizes for the 32 bust and for the 52 bust and for the 62 bust, it's the math, it still actually works, it will still actually fit. It's all the stuff the tech editor does. And then after the tech editor is done with it, then I want there to be the time, the like 12 weeks or something crazy like that, for the testers to be able to test the pattern, um, and show you what it looks like in different sizes and in different yarns and all of that. I just feel like you get a better quality test done if the pattern has been tech edited before it's given to the testers. And if you're not paying your testers, testers don't get paid. Um, Tech editors definitely get paid. So you shouldn't be asking your testers to be tech editing because you're not paying them. So yeah. So that's why like my production schedule, my publishing schedule is a lot longer. So it took time to get everything running in order and for me to get into the flow of things. And I finally, about a month ago, started to feel like, okay, I've got a handle on this. Like, I'm not constantly going, okay, what am I doing? Okay, what am I doing? Okay, what am I doing? What did I forget? So now that I finally feel like confident and I've got a real handle on this, I finally feel like, and I've hired some people and they're all confident and have a handle on what they're doing. And I just yesterday had a really awesome consultation with a marketing company, and they're going to be doing some work for me and also giving me advice on what I can do too to make things better. Um, so I finally am able to have time to do things like make the blog even better and put all of that like really awesome content that you guys can get for free, right there. So I'm super excited about that. All right. So yes, loose forks are super fun to use. Thank you. 6 month anniversary of the magazine. Woohoo! All right. And I think we're good here. I think we're at a good stopping point. So remember tonight, it's almost 1 o'clock p.m. It's almost 1 p.m. Eastern time. Tonight from 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern time. So 6 hours and 8 minutes from now, about 6 hours from now, is when we have our next um, sit and stitch, live sit and stitch on Zoom. You can grab the link to that from one of two places. The links are always posted in the Crochet Foundry Makes Facebook group. If you're not there, just go into Facebook and look up the group Crochet Foundry Makes, and you can join that group. And there is a pinned post that has the links for all of the upcoming sit and stitches. And in addition to that, if you get the newsletter, then the newsletter always includes the link for the upcoming sit and stitch. So there was a newsletter that was sent out. It was either Sunday night or Monday morning. I don't remember. I feel like it was Sunday night, but it might have been Monday morning. There was a newsletter that was sent out, and it will have the link to tonight's sit and stitch as well. It's a registration link, so you can click it at any point in time, register, and then if you register more than 24 hours ahead, it will send you a reminder like the day before. If you register when it's closer, I think it just gives you the actual link. But it's real. I know there have been plenty of people who have just clicked the registration link right before and were able to get in. So there you go. So hopefully I will see a good number of you tonight at our sit and stitch. You can you can do anything, any craft, or you can just sit and chat. Make sure you have your water or tea or something because we do chat a lot, and you'll need something to drink there with you. And we have no issue with whatever craft you feel like doing. It is really, and I love to answer questions if you have any questions. It's just really about having nice time together with people we enjoy, right? So being a good community. So, yep, exactly. What Sarah said. Perfect. We'll see y'all tonight and stay hydrated. Okay? So I will see y'all later. Have a wonderful day.